Hello lovely Flosstube friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren, also known as Cross Stitch Bunny, here on YouTube and over on Instagram. Welcome if you are new, welcome back if you are returning. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, which is going to be my August roundup. We are a little bit early with it being August the 30th. We're not quite at the very end of the month, and typically I film these end of month roundups on the very last day of the month or the first day of the following month. However, the next couple of days are going to be very busy. The kids are going to be home because the summer holidays, although we are approaching the end of them, we're not quite back to school just yet. And I didn't want to try and squeeze this in over the next couple of days. Kids are at grandma's right now, so I thought this was the perfect time. I have a little bit of time left before they come home. So, what have I been up to in August? I will have a quick look. Let's see, get to the right page. So, in the month of August, I started with 32 whips and I had 2 new starts, taking me to 34 whips currently active. I had no finishes. So that is where we are at. We are on 34 whips. I have had a few days of no stitching this month, but not as many as the last couple of months. So that is a positive. Yeah, if you have a quick nosy at that, you can see on the days that I mark as NA, those are the days I've not stitched. Most of the days I have done a little bit of stitching. There's just been a few here and there. So yes, I'm pleased with that, and I am hoping to squeeze some stitching into this evening also. So let's have a look at my new starts first, of which there are 2, and they are both Wordy birds. You never would have guessed it, me and my Wordy bird obsession for 2025, but I've been trying to keep up with the series, and I started 2 of the patterns this month. So the first one that I started is the August Wordy birds, which is very colourful, very rainbowy. I will pop up a picture on the screen so that you can look at that instead of watching me fumble between my notebooks to find you the details. So that is the pretty pattern, and obviously you've not seen it before on my channel because it is a new start for the month, so there is no before picture, there is just current progress. So let's have a look where I have got to so far. Here it is. You will have seen this on my Instagram if you follow me there. I have posted at least 1 or 2 pictures, I think, as I've been stitching. If I give you a bit of a closer view at what I've done, it is so pretty. I absolutely love this one. The designer is Sweet Wing Studio. It is from the Wordy Birds series of patterns, which was sort of like a stitch along that you could sign up to. Although the patterns are then released a little bit later, so the earlier patterns in this series you can already buy as individual patterns without having signed up. And I started this on the 3rd of August, so quite early in the month. The size isn't very large, it is 119 by 71 stitches, and I am stitching this on a 32 count even weave by Stitch Bunny Shop, my shop. It is one of my exclusive print patterns called Summer Sherbet. And I do this in both sparkle and non-sparkle version, but I've just gone for the non-sparkle version. It is basically like pastel yet still bright sort of thing, if that makes any sense. Like a rainbow of different colours in sort of an etched, it's not swirly, it's more like sort of etched and mixed colours together. There's lilacs, there's yellows, there's pale peaches. Yeah, a bit of green. I love this fabric so much. Ooh. I've wanted to stitch something on it since I released it as a print, but I believe this is the first time I have actually stitched on it, and I think that it works very well. This was a very colourful pattern, and I think the fabric suits it well, but does not like detract from the colours in my stitching because they are much sort of stronger colours. They're much darker, but it is similar colours in the background, but just more muted. And I think it works really nicely. And these birdies are so cute. They've not got any eyes yet, but they are looking very, very sweet. I've done most of the writing. It says Summer Shimmer and then Glimmer. My mind has gone blank and I can't remember what the missing word is. You will know because I popped the pattern on the screen, so you will have seen the words. But right now my mind is drawing a blank. But yeah, that is August Wordy Birds, and I'm stitching 2 over 2 on the 32 count. And I'm using DMC for all of it, other than 2 colours that I have subbed with Royal Broidery Alternatives because I couldn't find the DMC. So that is new start number 1. My next new start is another Wordy Bird, surprise, surprise, and it is the September Wordy Bird. So when I first started doing these patterns, I was stitching them one at a time, finishing one, and then picking up the next one. But I just felt like starting this one, and I just thought, why not? Ultimately, they're both going to get stitched. They both will get finished. I thought I'm not going to hold back and wait till my rainbow one was done. I love this one with the chicken and the rooster, and I really just wanted to make a start. So I've made some lovely progress on this one too. And here it is. I'm very pleased with this one so far, and I love the words on this one. It's so cute. It says, "Oh my sweetie pie," and then it will say, "You are the apple of my eye." Again, I've not done all the words on this one, but with this one I decided to start it. I've done a centre start on all of these, but then I just went straight up and I wanted to do the rooster because he's just so cute and so colourful. I wanted to get to him as soon as possible, so I just worked my way as fast as I could to the rooster, and then I carried on doing some bits around him. And then this border at the bottom, I thought I would jump down here because I had these bits here as reference points, so I wasn't going to make any counting errors. And I've gotten to work on this border. I did that last night, and I was just thinking that I didn't want to leave it all till the end. With my other Wordy Birds, I did get in the habit after the first 1 or 2, like I realised that this border, because they all are in the same sort of style, this border that runs along the very bottom is like a full coverage border. And typically in all of the designs, that one band of stitching across the bottom accounts for roughly 30% of the design. And I was finding that on my first one, I think I made the mistake of leaving that border to the end, and then I'd done all the birds and the words, which is kind of the fun bit, and then the border seemed to take me a really long time and I didn't have anything fun left to jump around and go between. So then I did make a switch to starting with the border. So on a lot of them I would do centre start, work my way down by doing a couple of letters just to get to the border, and then I was getting that 30% of stitching done and out of the way and returning to all the fun bits, or fun for me, words and birds. But after doing quite a few of them with just concentrating solidly on the border to start with, I fancied a change. So yes, I've jumped around a lot more on August and September and just sort of followed my needle with where it wants to go. I'll give you another close-up while I give you the details on this one. So this was started on the 24th of August, so obviously much later in the month. I don't think that was even a week ago. The designer again is obviously Sweet Wing Studio. The size is 119 by 73, so almost identical to August, just 2 stitches wider. And again, this is on a 32 count even weave, and this one is called Distressed, and this is also a Stitch Bunny print. And with it being sort of farmyard, barn sort of style with the rooster and what will be the chicken, I just thought this fabric worked really well. It's pretty much like a creamy off-white neutral, but it kind of has almost dirty splatter on it. That doesn't sound very nice, does it? But yeah, it's just got a distressed sort of dirty splatter effect on it. Hence the name Distressed, and I just thought it would work well for this pattern. So that is Wordy Birds September. I'm stitching this one again mostly with DMC, and again there's a couple of Royal Broideries in this also. So yeah, for both of these I kitted them up using as much DMC as I could find in my stash, and then for the odd colour here and there I added some Royal Broidery to complete the sets. So that is 2 Wordy Birds well underway. Looking forward to finishing both of them. All of the Wordy bird designs tend to be somewhere around 3,500 to sort of 4,000 stitches. I don't think any of them have actually hit the 4,000 stitch mark from memory when I think back to doing each one. They are Pattern Keeper compatible, which is good because obviously I can see how much progress I've made and track it by percentage. So yes, that is quite nice, and basically all of them are under 4,000 stitches, so they're not too big and they do stitch up quite nicely, quite quickly. I've really enjoyed working on them this year and I'm so pleased that I have kept up with them. So yes, very happy, like patting myself on the back, joined in a SAL and have actually kept up with it, so very amazed. Amazed by my own dedication to that particular set of patterns. We have another bird to look at next. So this one is not a new start. Those were my only new starts for the month of August. This was an ongoing whip, Variety of Life. And here is the gorgeous pattern from the box. It is of course a Bothy Wrendale. So the original artwork is by Hannah Dale of Wrendale, charted by Bothy, comes as a kit. And I do believe that last time I was chatting about the Bothy kits, which was probably in my last video because I'm pretty sure I worked on this last month also, I did say that the kits that come on 16 count don't have an even weave option, and that was true. I was not wrong that when they originally brought out this design and some others that were offered on a 16 count, you couldn't get an even weave option at that time. Otherwise, I would have opted for even weave. The only kits that had an even weave option initially, when they brought the even weave out, was the 14 count. You could get 28 count even weave instead. However, because I am a Bothy stockist on my website, I don't buy huge numbers of the kits in because I don't sell huge numbers of the kits, but occasionally I do a little restock, and I was having a look on the back of house of like the trade section of the website to potentially do a little restock, and I noticed that this kit and others can now be ordered with the 32 count. So it is a shame that mine is already so far complete, because yes, if I hadn't actually started this year, I would have been tempted to just switch to a 32 count kit, but we are not doing that because, as you can see, I've made tons of progress even last time you saw it, and then we've done even more at this point, so there is no way, absolutely no way, that I am restarting this for the sake of changing my fabric. And the Ada is absolutely fine. I don't mind Ada. I'm not a one or the other stitcher. I like both. I do think that the finished look of even weaves or linen is sometimes a little bit more polished. It's only because you just don't see the holes as much, do you? Whereas on Ada, sometimes the holes are still a little bit more noticeable. And that is why, you know, if I want a project to look a bit more delicate or a bit more refined, often I will opt for the even weave or the linen, but I still do plenty of Ada stitches and I am not mad. I'm not mad that this is on Ada because at the time that I bought it, that was the only option. Now, we are a little bit creased because at this point the frame has been jumped around quite a lot. I'll try and flatten it the best that I can for you to have a lovely view. And here it is. So I really have come on leaps and bounds with this. You start in the middle with a close-up of beautiful Mr. Owl. The next bird I stitched, I believe, was the robin. And then the sparrow. And then I moved over here to do the lovely blue tit. Isn't he cute? And he is now finished. And I'm now working on this. Oh no, I'm not working on him. I finished him. I have finished this sparrow, but that's correct. I have not backstitched him. Yes. Let's just have a quick look. Yes, he is finished. He is complete in terms of crosses. He is another little sparrow, but with his bum in the air. And his head is sort of coming from behind the branch that he is sat on. And he is finished. I've just not backstitched him because on the Bothy kits, typically you get the crosses chart and then the back stitch is on a separate diagram. And I think I finished him late one evening and then I couldn't be bothered to pull out my backstitch chart. So instead of backstitching him to finish him, I just started this tiny bit of colour here instead, which is on the kingfisher, the last bird. So yes, I did think, when I've got to the kingfisher here, I did initially panic that like, oh my gosh, I'm going to run out of space. There doesn't seem to be a lot of space left here at the end. And I was worried about that when I was working on the sparrow. I was thinking, did I actually have a centre start? Did I measure wrong? But no, I'm fairly confident now that the sparrow is completed. And I definitely, to move it this way, I definitely have enough room to do the kingfisher. He's not bigger than the owl. And I think that at a push, I could even squeeze the owl onto the end of here again. So yes, I am relieved that it is going to fit, because I did, have a momentary panic about that. But all is well. I did position it right, so all good. We'll do one last zoomy in sweep of the birdies. So sparrow, robin, beautiful owl, my blue tit, and my sparrow with his bum in the air. Really, really happy with that one. I'll stick it down for a minute because I think I'm going to have to flip a few pages to find this one. Now, where are you in my book? I must have started this longer ago than I thought. Where are you? Did I even put it in my book? Have I forgotten to put him in my book? Can't see him. Either I am blind or he's just missing from my book. Yeah, I think I have forgotten to put this whip in my book when I've started it. Unless I started it in 2024 and it's much older than anticipated. No, I did. I found it. I was panicking then. I was like, I don't even know when I started this. Now, he is in my book, or they are in my book. So I started Variety of Life on the 17th of February of last year. And I started it with Rosie from Rosie X Stitchers. We started it together as a SAL. I believe that we started it at my house when Rosie came for a Stitchy day. And then after we both started it together at a Stitchy hangout day that we had, we then took it along and worked on it some more at Tan's birthday celebration in that same year. Then we both put it away for a long time, forgot about it, moved on to other things. I eventually pulled it out one day, just fancying it, randomly, just picked it out of my whip pile, decided to do it, and then that spurred Rosie on, who has now finished her owl. I'm not sure if she started another bird yet, but she has definitely finished the owl. So that is not a wordy bird, but another bird that I have been working on, birds, plural. Next whip is another bird kit, sort of. I'm stitching all the birds this year. It's completely unintentional. It's just worked out that way. This isn't strictly just birds. This is my Heritage Crafts Karen Carter kit called Vegetable Patch. So there are birds though, look, there are chickens, but there is also a fox, and there's just all this cute scenery. It's like a little garden potting shed or something like that. Vegetable patch that the chickens are attacking and trying to eat all the vegetables. And then we've got the fox like in the background stalking the chickens. So I love this kit. This is a whip, not a new start, so I will pop on the screen and let you have a look at where I was last time. I've lost my board. Things are going swimmingly today. I'm dumping everything everywhere and I don't know where it's gone. Here it is. I do need the board behind this one or you just won't see it very well. So this is my progress at the moment. Get a bit closer. I think I've put my camera too far away today. I'm sorry about that. So here it is. Just cover my face to make sure it focuses. I do feel really good about the progress so far. These definitely do look like chickens at this point, even though I've not backstitched. We've got our fox here. He's not quite complete. There's still some more to add to his tail. But yes, I feel like I've done quite a lot, and I have started the back stitch, which I thought was important. So the ladder here is taking shape. I've done some of the roof back stitch and a little bit up here in this greenery. And I was really worried about leaving the back stitch all to the end on this one because it is quite back stitch heavy. That is what makes it, you know, this is a tiny full coverage piece that will fit in this entire hoop without me having to move the frame, I think, to stitch the whole thing. So it is not large, and that means we do need lots of lovely back stitch to add in those details and make it actually look pretty. But it's still a lot of backstitch to do in one sitting. I have avoided picking up my koi dragon this entire month for that exact reason, because every cross has been crossed. I am left with mountains of backstitch, and I wasn't sure I wanted to face that this month. So yes, I mean, there's still a lot of backstitch to do on this, but I thought I would at least make a little start. Many of you on Instagram were very sensible. Like, I posted a picture of this out and said, I'm trying to decide whether to carry on with my crosses or do some backstitch. I think everybody that commented was like, do the backstitch or you'll regret it later. And I heeded that advice, and I've made a little start on the backstitch. So there we go. That is Karen Carter collection vegetable patch from Heritage Crafts. I'm not sure when I started this, so we will have a little look. I don't feel like this WIP is very old. Let's have a quick look. I really should look these things up before I start the video, but never mind. Vegetable patch was started on the 22nd of March of this year, so it isn't a very old WIP. The size is 90 by 90 if you're interested. So yeah, it is a full coverage with backstitch, 90 by 90 stitches total. So as I said, very small. I am using all the kit supplied threads, the kit supplied fabric, which is a 27 count even weave, just in white. And I always recommend getting the even weave option on Karen Carter kits. I say this every time I show one, but they have a lot of fractional stitches, and it does just make it a lot easier if you get the even weave rather than the Ada, because then you're not there trying to punch your own holes through the fabric to do those fractional stitches. And that brings us to our last project. Last project is Sapphire Dragon. I will pop that on the screen for you while I try and battle it out of the bag. I've got this WIP in one of my favourite WIP bags, but it's just a bit stuck. There we go. I've thrown the thread box on the floor, but it's fine. The bag completely does not match the project. Mine rarely do, but I do love this bag. This is my Foxy bag. Foxes and flowers. I absolutely love this particular one. I don't usually show my WIP bags, but yeah, this is one of my favourites. I just love the fabric. It is so pretty. And I have so many Fox projects, none of which are currently being stitched on, but yes, this is from my Stitch Bunny shop, and when this fabric was added to the shop in bag form, I kept one back for myself, which I don't do that often, but yes, I really wanted this one to house all my Fox projects when I actually get round to stitching on them. The designer for this piece is Anastasia Yusova. She has her own website. I think it's Art Custom Korea. I'm pretty sure off the top of my head that that is the website name. And I started this on the 28th of February last year. This was my birthday start for 2024. I believe that I started this with Anita, although it wasn't like a stitch along, it was just like a start along. We both got the pattern and both said we would work on it. I don't think Anita has done that much stitching on it. Anita the Violet Stitcher, who is a big dragon fan, I'm not sure that she's actually put that many stitches into it, but she has definitely started it. And there are plenty of other things that we were either supposed to start together or did start together that she is leaps and bounds ahead of me on. But I am ahead of her on this particular one. This is where I am at. And my dragon is really taking shape at this point, I think. So you can really see his face. Got the eye there. I love this pattern. It is absolutely beautiful. Really, really lovely. This is being stitched this is being stitched with Royal Broidery, and it's just on an 18 count sort of navy blue Ada. I've not got the size noted down for this one because I only started noting down sizes in my book, I think, in 2025. So no size written down for this one, but it is quite a big piece off the top of my head because this is in Saga. It is available as a Saga file. I'm pretty sure this has got somewhere between like 27 and 29,000 stitches or thereabouts. I am nowhere near finished at all, and this one I have to be very careful when I'm stitching it because some of it is stitched in 2 strands and some of it is stitched in single strand. And on Saga, like, it's very easy for me to just get in the zone of stitching. Like, I love marking off with Saga, and Saga does tell you how many strands you should be using, but it's not like a big number that jumps out of you. Like when you select the symbol that you want to stitch, there is just like a small number in the corner, like above the DMC number that you're using, that'll say like 1, 2 or 3 to indicate the number of strands that the designer has suggested you use. And yes, I have found that a bit tricky. I did find myself in some places accidentally stitching with 2 when I should have been stitching with 1, and then I wasn't sure how that was going to impact the overall look of it, because there's obviously a reason why certain bits need to be stitched double and certain bits need to be stitched single. So I have done a little bit of frogging on this project, but not too much. I do now sort of remind myself when I pick this one up, like, double check your strand numbers. So it's not so bad if you do single strand by mistake, because you can just go and stitch over it single strand again and get away with that. But when I'd done double strand and it called for single, I didn't want to mess up the final look of it, so I did unpick. I don't know if you can see very well, but like a lot of this sort of lighter colour is in single strand, and the dragon sort of blue bits are all in double. But yeah, this one is keeping my brain busy with having to check exactly how many strands I should be using for any given colour. And that is that one. That is all of the whips that we are looking at. So 2 nice new starts, 3 nice whips, and only 1 project, this one, that did not involve a bird of any kind for this month. It has been a very bird heavy month of stitching. Have I got anything else to show you? Yes, but only very quickly. So I did do a little Flosstube extra video, I think just under 2 weeks ago, showing off the beautiful kits that I have got from unicstitch.com. Designer name I am not going to butcher. So because I've done a whole dedicated video on these kits, we are not going to talk about them or look at them too much here. I'm literally going to hold them up so that you can see the pictures on the front. They are beautiful and they are ornament kits. If you want further details, just pop onto my channel page and go back to my last video and you can see them there properly. So we have the jellyfish ornament kit. We have the starfish ornament kit. And we have my favourite of the 3, although I love them all, the seahorse. And yes, I have damaged my packaging on the seahorse kit, which I was very annoyed with myself about, but all the stuff is still in there. It's all perfect. I've just damaged the cover, but never mind. There is a SAL. So we're not going to talk about these kits as in all the details, but they are ornament kits with everything you need to stitch. And there is a SAL. So myself, Rosie from Rosie X Stitchers, I'll pop our little sort of SAL picture here. We are doing the Ocean Treasures SAL. So it's myself, Rosie X Stitchers, Charlie from Charlie Feathers, and Ellie from Stitching Bee. We are the 4 of us choosing one of these to stitch, and we're going to start on the 5th of September. as you can see. So 5th of September, if you have these kits, you are welcome to jump in and join us. Just pick whichever one you want to start. And we're just sort of having a start along. There's no rules. Hopefully we'll all get into it and get really absorbed in it and finish our ornaments fairly quickly because they're not very large. But equally, if we make a little start and then get distracted by other things, it doesn't matter because there's no deadlines to this SAL. We just want to start one and get them on the go. I do think a few of you have seen my past video, so if you happened to be enabled and buy these and they are on the way to you, or maybe they are shortly going to arrive, if you ordered them at the time my video was posted, then you might have them in time to start with us on the 5th. So please do if you've ordered these kits and they arrive to you in time. But if not, just jump on at any point when they do arrive to you and just use the hashtag Ocean Treasures SAL if you're posting on Instagram, and then we can all see who's stitching it, which will be lovely. So yay, new SAL. Very exciting. That is everything. There is no other haul or bits to share with you. I do have a little bit of life update for those that like to know how my life is going. Goodbye if you are leaving now that the stitching is over. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, please do if you've enjoyed this video. It does help other people to see my channel. The more that people like, subscribe and comment, and I don't often ask people to, but I will throw that reminder in there today because it has been a little while. And now for some life updates. So my hair is gone. My hair is also looking awful today because I've come home from the gym and got caught in a not insignificant amount of rain on my way home. I had no idea it was going to rain. So yes, my hair has taken a battering. It was in a ponytail at the time, which made it even worse because I've now got this massive kink where it started to dry in the car. But let's forget about the presentation of the hair. Like, the update is that I've had like a good 6 to 8 inches chopped off my hair. It was like properly down here. When I filmed these videos, it was always like hanging down way below the camera. It has now gone. Yes, overall I'm happy with it. It's always a shock to me because I do like having long hair, so when I get like a good amount chopped off, it takes me a while to get used to it, but it was really good, like in the warmer weather we've been having, and also with me going to the gym so much recently with my fitness regime. Yes, the very long hair was just becoming highly impractical, and I was just wearing it up in a ponytail constantly, and sweating every day in the gym. So yes, less hair, more manageable. That is my hair update. Very exciting stuff. I've got new nails today. I don't know if you'll be able to see them very well, but I've gone for sort of an autumn colour now that we're going into autumn. So they're sort of like browny orangey with gold sparkles. I'm very happy with how they're looking, very pleased. I am going to a retreat in September, so that is very exciting. It is going to be the Essex Needles retreat. So it's going to be a busy month of trying to slowly get ready for me. I don't want to leave it till the very last minute. I'm taking the shop with me, so yes, over the next couple of weeks, because I believe the retreat is at the very end of the month. Hopefully I've got my dates right on that. I don't want it to be a mad rush to get everything prepared and ready to take with me in the week before. So I'm just going to enjoy these last few days of the holidays, do a few more outings and stuff with the kids in the few days that they have left. Mine returned to school on Wednesday and we are now on Saturday. So yes, there's literally Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We've got 3 days and then their summer holiday is over and they are back into the swing of school life. I think it's going to be a shock to them after having so much time off, but I think they're also really looking forward to seeing their friends again. That will be lovely. But yes, from the 3rd onwards, once they are back in school, I can get some semblance of a routine back with my everyday life, and I am going to have to make some time to prepare for Essex. I am super excited for the Essex retreat. The last time I went was in March of this year. They do have them like every 6 months, but it is March and September. I cannot wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully lots of faces that I recognise. I'm sure there'll be plenty of new faces that I don't recognise. If you're going, please say hi to me if you see my face when I'm there. And yeah, that should be really fun. I feel like I've not been to a retreat for a good long while. In fact, Essex may have been the last retreat I went to. I'm pretty sure it is. I think they're the only ones I've done so far this year. So yeah, I went to Essex in March. So it will have been 6 months since I've been to any retreat at all. Very much excited for it. So that is my exciting upcoming Stitchy plans. I'm still very busy at home in general, still got puppies in the house, which is always chaos. They are getting to that age now where they're super fun, super cute, super fluffy. I'll pop some pictures or video or whatever I've got handy in the corner there. But yeah, they're super cute, super fun, super fluffy. But also, you know, they are getting to the point of being like, as a group, they're lovely individually, but as a group, they're being noisy, they're being messy, they're being just little chaos bringers. I am looking forward to them going home in September, and then we will just have a little bit of quiet. And also I need quiet in order to prepare everything that I need to prepare for Essex. So the timing is good. And the timing is very good that they will be going to their lovely new families pretty soon. In other news, my bathroom flooded yesterday, which is not particularly exciting. In fact, it was the opposite of exciting. It was absolutely horrible. I don't know how it happened, but I got into the shower at about 10:30 in the morning, and it's the one I was in was the shower that's over a bathtub. I was in there for 5 minutes, literally. It was a super, super quick shower. I jumped out and the whole bathroom floor was a lake, like an actual lake, and I properly freaked out. I didn't know where the water was coming from. I didn't know if this was a problem, like a burst pipe that had just happened to happen when I was in the shower. So I didn't know whether the water was going to keep getting worse or whether the fact that the shower was off would mean it wouldn't get any worse. In my complete flap, I forgot where our stopcock was to turn the water off. I remembered like a little while later where it was, and in fact it was unneeded because thankfully it was a when the shower is turned on problem, not a constant leak problem. But yes, I spent far too much time yesterday. Instead of stitching or doing anything fun, I spent a lot of time emptying water out of the bathroom, like out of the cupboard that the water tank was in, and just off the floor in general, using a big dog bowl to squeeze water from a sponge or a towel into and then throw it out of the window. My mother-in-law jumped in to help me because I was home alone when it happened. I was looking after all the puppies, taking care of everything. Adam was not home. It was like typical. The one day, because we're usually home together, the one day that he was unavailable, not even to call him, I couldn't even call him, he was out of the picture, is the one day that, yeah, we had a disaster that was very much his department. He is the very highly practical person with loads of DIY skills, loads of fixing skills. Like, yes, had he been home, it would not have fazed him, but I was in a complete meltdown. When he did get home, he found the problem and he fixed the problem in literally like under 15-20 minutes. It was all sorted, fixed, the shower is working again. And the only evidence that the disaster happened is that the carpet in my bedroom at that end of the room did get flooded because it all just poured out of the ensuite, which obviously is a tiled floor, so no damage done there, but it just all poured through into the bedroom as well. Yes, so we have got a blower on, which I've actually turned off just to do this video, but there is sort of a blower that is trying to dry out the remnants of yesterday's disaster, and I think it's close to being completely dry, so that is good news. I don't have anything else exciting. I think that is everything that I wanted to say to you today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope that you get some lovely autumn or spooky projects lined up. We are getting close to spooky stitching season, I feel. I am not the biggest Halloween stitcher. I think the only spooky project I've got going on at the moment is my Deadly Aquarium. I'm definitely wanting to stitch on that in October, and then there are a few other Halloweeny things that are in my stash, or just like patterns that I've got in my PDF sort of stash that I would like to pick at least one out and start another Halloweeny project. So yes, in upcoming Flosstubes there will probably be a Halloweeny start. I can't decide whether to get a head start by picking one to start in September, or whether I just pick out a small and maybe wait until October begins. Not sure, but yes, I am going to do Deadly Aquarium over the next month or so, so you will see some of that as my nod to spooky stitching. There will probably be another Halloween start, and then I just want to do some like general stitching with a seasonal vibe. It may actually encourage me to finish the backstitch on my koi dragon, because my koi dragon, when I originally started it, was an autumn start. I started it in that season because of all the orange and beautiful colours that were in it, even though it wasn't like a seasonal subject matter. Do you know, it's a dragon. But I just liked that all the colours were very autumnal. And yes, it seems a good time of the year to really try and plod along a bit more with that one. Anyway, at this point I am rambling, so I'll wish you all a good evening, a good rest of your day, depending on what time you are watching this. Take care everyone, happy stitching, and I hope I will see you very soon. Bye!